everyone flocked to James Brown and this sound.
Mm-hmm.
So along with the music, the revolution of his music and the boom bap sound, and then along with his dancing, that is what birthed that whole revolution and that rebellion to disco that we call hip hop.
Curtis Blow.
Boom!
Bow. Don't forget, Curtis. James Brown was so popular with our culture. Like he said, that's where having to pay for samples started at too.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget that part.
He's the most sampled artist.
It has to be like, come on, y'all taking this mad music, do it like, come on.
Yeah.
That's where that came from too.
Yeah, the most sampled artist ever.
Of all time.
Of all time. Wow. That was a conversation with Curtis Blow and the legendary, the iconic, the most truthful DJ that touched up on the turntables and represent this culture to the fullest. He's never bent, ladies and gentlemen, under pressure. He's never compromised his integrity. He's never compromised who he is as a human being, even though we work in the field of entertainment where it's full of facades, facetiousness, and liars and cheats. He never bent over like that, ladies and gentlemen. Always stood his ground, 10 toes down. Give it up to the iconic, the legendary DJ K-Slay!
K-Slay!
Ding, 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 ding.
What's up, King?
Come on, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
K-Slay.
Hey.
Come on, man. How you been?
Oh, man, I've been good, just staying busy, working, just
Hey,
staying active.
I see you, man. K-Slay citizens, call up and congratulate him. He's about to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for putting together a song with the most features on one record.
Wow.
He has a song called Rolling 110 Deep, and it features 110 artists on one track, and the track is 40 minutes long. Never heard of it? I don't even know who would want to work with 110 artists. How many headaches? How many bottles of Excedrin did you go through?
Oh, man, uncountable. Artists is hard to work with one artist. Better yet, 110 of them, and having to go to them 2 times because I had to go back to them to get the video done.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So
this
it
isn't
was a
a
headache,
song
but
as an
it
album.
worked. Yeah, I mean, right now, the length of the song is what we getting from people doing albums these days. But it was worth it, though. For the culture, it was definitely worth it.
What was your idea? Like, what on what day and what moment did you say, you know what I want to do? I want to do a song with 110 rappers. What was the idea behind it?
So the funny thing was, I had did Rolling 50 Deep. That was on the last project. That was on Homage.
Mm-hmm.
And the reaction that I got, the love I got from that, I was like, okay. I immediately started working on a part 2 because I started seeing a lot of comments saying, yo, we need a part 2, this and that. So I had already been working on it. But once I counted the verses, it was 60. I said, damn, I went over. So once I went over to 60, I said, well, I might as well just get 40 more and go to 100. Then once I got to 100, it was 104. I was like, God damn, like 104 ain't sound right. I said, well, I might as well just get 6 more people, and then I just added on to 6 more. And then I was like, okay, I'm stopping right there. I ain't gonna keep going. And that was it right there, man.
Okay, man, K-Slay, man, you doing something no one else is. Your legacy is already sealed, but it's
Word. I'm curious now, because we often hear about lyricists when they know that they're going to be on a track with like another artist, 2 other artists, then it ups the ante with the competition. So when it's 110, does it become more of like a family affair, or did you feel the spirit of competition even more?
I mean, I felt like the competition was a little more because they seen Rolling 50 Deep. So if I give you a track and I tell you that it's going to be 100 artists on it, you could come playing around if you want, because it ain't let me hear this person's verse or let me change my verse. Ain't none of that going down. That's cheating, I give you, for real. I give you the beat. Go for what you know. That's it. So everybody, came with their A game. Nobody was playing around. Word up.
I was with Corey Guns last night. Yesterday was his birthday. Matter of fact, I was at DITC Studios, K-Slay, hanging out with the team. AG was there, Showbiz. Corey Guns was there. These young ladies shot big, and High Diddy. They were the two girls from Brooklyn that did something over that Busta Rhymes beat that went viral. Put your hands on my eyes
Rest
to
in
see.
peace, Shamello. That was produced by Buddha and Shamello. Rest in peace, Mello. For real.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I was sitting. Corey Guns was playing me some of his new stuff, which is sick. He got a song called Ghetto, that's ridiculous. You know what I like about this, man? It's great to see a Royce the 5'9", a Votto, you know, a E40, a EA Ski, a Corey Guns, a Dave East, a Memphis Bleak, a Sheek Louch, all on the same, a Trade of Truth, all on the same track as a Grandmaster Cass. I appreciate that. Talk about that, man. I appreciate that.
I mean, you know, the thing that gets me, and I understand sometimes people's minds is limited and they could go only as far as what they know. But when you hear people say, well, who's the greatest female artist of all time? Now listen to the punchline of all time. That means you don't just start at, you know, Nicki Minaj, Megan, Cardi B, like, you know what I'm saying? They're great right now. But when you say all time, you have to go from the beginning and work your way up. Now, if you say of the era, you know, the 90s, the 2000s, like, then that's different. Sometimes people tend, and even a lot of the blogs, they tend to forget about the beginning. So it'd be my mission when I do these songs to pop in some of these OGs that I know is going to smoke the shit out of some of these new cats that's out here. So that now I'm making the younger generation, you know, knowledgeable of who these guys is. Like, yo, when they see the video, yo, man, because they was like, yo, man, that old dude with no shirt on went crazy. You talking about Melly Mel. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but see, they know who he is now. And they should know who he is already, but a lot of people don't do their research on the game. They just stuck on what they know. They say, oh, who's the greatest of all time? Most of the time they'll start off with, oh, Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas. They don't go nowhere near the 80s or the 90s. I mean, part of the 80s, pardon me, and the 70s. They just start immediately at the mid-90s, and that ain't accurate. So that's what I'll be doing, just mixing up the pot.
I like it, man, and I think it's necessary. And sometimes we tend to shy away from what we don't know about, and we see that happen in our culture a lot. They don't they don't have that part of that time period necessarily mastered. They don't feel qualified to comment on a Chirac or somebody like a Mercedes Ladies, or they don't understand the impact, the relevance relative to that time and date. So they just leave it out. But that's why you're so important, K. Slade.
Yes.
That's why we are so important, to make sure that we tell the story, man. To make sure. What do you think? What do you think of, like, the Chris Rivers, the Lil TJs, you know, the P's, like the newer Bronx MCs that have come out in the recent years?
Man, Chris Rivers, I've always been a fan of his, man. Like, Chris Rivers is different. He's a different type of animal. You understand what I'm saying? Lil TJ got his own sound. He's doing his thing. You know, I think as long as everybody is doing what they're doing, you know, in the original way, you know, it gravitates to me. You know what I'm saying? I just like to hear people twist up something else into what they're doing so everything doesn't sound redundant. You know, like sometimes, like, I could get in the car, the radio be on, and I'm listening, and I'll subconsciously, you know, I could be talking on the phone doing other things, but it sounds like I listen to the same record for 40 minutes, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I'll be like, yo, man, throwing some R&B-ish, you know? I just want to hear that original sound to where, like, you know, Chris Rivers had a hot record. Okay, so now here comes Hattie Rax. Hattie Rax doesn't run to the same producer Chris Rivers did because it was taboo coming up in the game to do that. That was biting. Hattie Rax, he runs to Premier. Okay, after he runs to Premier, you know what I'm saying? Here we got P. P go, oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. He said he runs to Pete Rock to get the beat. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody had their own sound. Now everything sounds so much alike that, you know, it gets annoying. And I get it. If you could get away with it and you're going to make $1, like, that's where this game is at right now. A lot of it isn't based off of the culture and integrity with the music is just about, look, I'm going to get rich, I'm going to get paid, because a lot of cats aren't really artists. The young cats that see an opportunity to get out the street easy, because this guy did it that I know that wasn't really a rap. He wasn't a twist, so I could do it too. So I understand that part. I cannot discredit or hate on any young brother trying to better his life or his family life, but I think they should at least learn the culture, man, and go about it and trying to be original. And longevity over instant gratification, man. That's just me.
Ooh, longevity over instant gratification. K. Slay is here.
I hear that.
EP is called Accolades. What's behind the title?
I mean, I got multiple accolades within the hip hop culture.
Come on,
man.
Talk your shit, K. Slay. Talk your shit.
Let him know.
Nah, I'm saying that's what even made me use the cover with me painting a train top to bottom whole car. I was 16 years old in a train yard, I've DJ'd, I was rapping on the first hip-hop documentary, Star Wars. I was on the platform rapping on there. I was a B-boy before. I threw my sweatshirt on with my names and spun on my head and scraped my knees up and so on and so forth. And I had knowledge of self. So all 5 elements of the culture, I have that. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to use accolades.
The first Star Wars, just to give reference to it, was the first kind of documentary kind of that I saw as a youth that really pulled me into culture. And I saw you in it, and MCing in the whole 9. We never really got into a deep conversation about it, and I rarely hear you talk that deep about it. Am I mistaken? But I've never really heard you go into those days and that story when you was graph writing and tagging on trains and who you were back then. Am I mistaken? Because that's really the first.
Well, you're not mistaken, because for one, that shit was illegal.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
That's facts.
But even though it's done and over now, whatever, it was just like a if you know type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But it was nothing I wanted to run around bragging about the face of public property.
No
so
snitch
on
zone.
And so forth. But I was doing it in a fashionable manner. Like, it wasn't that scribbling shit and all that and throw up stuff. We was doing masterpieces, art, colorful shit, that a lot of my peers are right now making hundreds of thousands of dollars still up to the day, going overseas and doing canvases and doing art shows and so on and so forth. So, it's a lot of cats that really took it to another level, and that's what I was into. But still, it wasn't legal. So
okay, K. Slay still. It's years later, man. They can't do nothing. K, it's a statute of limitation, man.
You never know.
That's why now it's all good. Like, if somebody tap on it, I tap into it, but I don't really,
Well, how did you get started with the cans? With the what was first? Was it being a B-boy? Was it graph writing? Like, what was first?
Coming up in the hood, Sway, especially in New York City, when hip-hop was being formed, it was kind of like everything. Every day you set out to be whatever it is that you seen somebody doing that you idolized and you emulated it. So, me going to I went to junior high school 13, which is the actual school of 106 in Park. And
Wow.
that's what we turned out to make the Graffiti Hall of Fame, So I went to that school. So I used to look out my classroom window and, see some of the art that the older cats in my neighborhood would do. And I'd be doodling on paper, and that's where I first start practicing doing that. And then as far as DJs, I'd watch the older cats in my hood bring the equipment out. And, I'd emulate them and go upstairs and my mother's component set and scratch her records up and everything, And then it was the dances, once you see somebody dancing, of course, ladies back then, if you ain't know how to dance, you wasn't getting no play. So you had to know how to dance. You know what I'm saying? You had to know how to dance, especially when the slow jams came on, okay? But that's another story for another day right there. Then, when it came to the MCing, the MC went hand in hand with the DJ, and when it came to knowledge itself, you had some older cats in my project that used to, taunt us and push us to, have knowledge of who we were and where we came from, that we was the original man, and so on and so forth. So It was every day, like it was what we was going to do, Sway, and we set out to do something different.
Damn, man, did you
It was nothing. It was nothing at one particular time. It was everything.
It was everything at once. So King Tech and myself, paralleling similarly with you. Like Style Wars put a fire under us, bro. Like I don't even know if we even talked about this, but Style Wars, and then when Wild Style came out, of course. But Style Wars really put the first fire underneath us, and we start going out emulating what we saw in Style Wars too. So our spot was Pier 39 in San Francisco, where people would go out and dance and pass the cup around, and we practiced in King Tech's family's garage. When when it came to putting down the linoleum, he was more of he was into breaking and getting hit in the floor. He's more into hitting the floor instead of up top. I was writing at that time. We was all, it's like you said, man, it was almost like, a dojo or something. Like we all came together into this hub just to create. But did you think at that time, K-Slay, that 30 plus, years, 30 years, 25 years later, that you would be doing what we're doing today? Because I had no idea back then.
Nah, not at all. I had no idea either. Like, it was just like something to do to take our minds off the fact that, we wasn't rich, but we just wanted to find something to do within that time and just, to take our mind off the fact of that and just be creative. And that's why, when they say hip-hop was always the voice for the voiceless, to say that was our way of showing the world, like, hey, look, okay, I might not know how to work a computer yet, but can you do this? You know what I'm saying? And and just bringing everybody together and just having a good time, until, that light went on and we had to go home. You know what I'm saying? That street light. You hear that street light, better get your ass upstairs. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, that's what it was really all about, just coming together and having something to do and being original. Wow. And just now it's like I'm bugging out because I'm saying that what bothers me sometimes is the struggle that we went through. And, I mean, I'm from Spanish Harlem, so the older cats it was a double whammy for us. Right? So I'm from El Barrio, Spanish Harlem. So I came up with my Latino brothers. 90% of them was like, yo, look at these Morenos doing this stupid shit, spinning on their back, cleaning up the floor. Because, that's when the hustle was popular. So the hustle was the shit. John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever and shit and all of that was it. So when we started breakdancing, most of them was like, man, these niggas look crazy. And then the older cats in our project, when we would bring out the hip-hop music, they was like, man, y'all better get the fuck out of here with that noise before we start kicking y'all ass. So it was like, God damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we really had to struggle and do what we had to do and get torn till they start catching on and seeing what was going on with the culture. And then they wanted to, of course, act like they dominated it. But it was like, it's hard to explain, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just to see where it's at right now and how easy people got it. And a lot of them don't really appreciate it. That's what kind of annoys me. It's like this is an easy money bag. And if it doesn't work, fuck it. I could go back to doing whatever I was doing and to hell with it. Meanwhile, we got a lot of brothers we know that DJs died that never got a radio slot. Rappers died that never even got a record played on the radio. That never got their credibility, and some people just taking it for granted. So that's what it annoys me, but it is what it is, Sway,
Yeah, it is what it is. But that's why we got Accolades coming out Friday, ladies and gentlemen. His new EP.
Wow. That's
rolling
dope.
110 deep.
That's dope because, Slade, what I will say, and I always say it, you have always looked out. And I said this to you before to your face, and I couldn't speak on it at the time when you reached out to me, but just so everybody know, like, he ain't being fake about none of the shit he said about reaching out and looking out, because he did to me. Slay reached out to me in December when this was happening, but I was COVID bound and stuck, and couldn't really speak on it and preparing to do a show, so I couldn't talk about it. I had signed some stuff, and then I was dealing with some things physically. But I appreciate you, bruh. I really do, because you have never been fake about your shit, and you've always reached out to the people who you had love and respect for, and that's very rare these days, because not many people still do that. So just love to you, and I just wanted to make note. I acknowledge it. You definitely reached out. You definitely reached out, yo.
Yeah, I be just wanting some female artists to know when they come up on that show sitting next to you that the OG will smoke your ass, B. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay some homage. Like, tilt your hat to the left side of that room. That's all I've been trying to do.
Come on, man. They be sitting right next to her, don't even know.
Don't even know, yeah.
But you know what it is, Sway and Slay, you know what it is, and I appreciate you saying that, because it's not just me you'll reach out to. It's one thing to say it, but you actually take it a step further and reach out. That's what I'm talking about, Slay. It's not just getting up there and say it. You actually take it, call me, text me, call this one, call that one. Like, you do shit like that, and it has to be noted. It has to be recognized, because your legacy is sealed, but people need to say it and know that, and I need Sway's Universe to understand that too. This dude will reach out, and it's real, and December was just a crazy time for me, 2020, but thank you, Slay, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, bro, for real.
No problem. No problem whatsoever.
TG, Tracy, you want to get in there and talk to K-Slay?
Yeah, absolutely. Slay, I love your opinions on the entire spectrum of the game, the entire history of it from beginning, middle, present. And so I would love your take on if we, as a culture, need to apologize to T-Pain. And I bring that up because, clips of this docu-series that's on Netflix, and I'm sure you peeped it. In case you didn't, he was sharing a story of how Usher told him on a plane that he ruined music. And from Usher's perspective, T-Pain said that Usher told him on a flight that he ruined music, that he took jobs away from quote-unquote real singers. And then that, of course, reminded me of when we had Death of Auto-Tune from Hove. And T-Pain has bringing us many, many bangers. T-Pain earned his right to be a part of Versus, was one of the early people that we spotlighted. And he spoke about how that opinion, along with many other heavy hitters' opinion, brought him into a downward spiral of depression. So I wanted to know what you think T-Pain's contributions are to the game, and also if anyone has ever been very blunt with their criticism towards you up here.
I mean, on the real, what T-Pain did was exactly what I was talking about. He was creative.
Right.
And he did something different. How could you ruin? Now, what he did do, you understand, is what I said. He seen something that's been done before. He took it to another level. Come on, nobody remembers Roger Troutman. T-Pain wasn't the first person to do auto-tune. Nobody remember the hit record Computer Love. People still play that record right now, almost 40 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So how could they say that he didn't ruin it? What he did was he started a new trend, and other artists that didn't know how to use the auto-tune made a couple of horrible records, but he didn't. I don't see that. I think he got creative. He did his thing. He made a new wave. You understand? And even right now, he's made a lane for a lot of even horrible rappers to throw auto-tune on their voice and sound good. So if anything, he helped the culture. He helped the culture. He didn't hurt it. No, I don't see that whatsoever. And if he would have did it and he wouldn't have made no hits, that's what that man made. Man, can't nobody tell me nothing about no T-Pain. They out their mind, yo.
I'm with you.
Sorry.
That is, man. K-Slay, man, the realest. Come on, man. DJ K-Slay, citizens. Come on. Hold on. Let me take this call real quick, K. We got XL from L.A. on the line. XL, what up, baby? Grand Risings.
What up?
Grand Risings. What's up, everybody? Tracy G, Head B. What's up, Slay?
Hey.
Man, Slay, I agree with every single little tiny word you just said. Oh, man, I got like 50 questions for all of y'all, but I'll just ask two.
No, you got one, bro.
What?
Yeah.
Well, maybe let's make it a two-part then. When you gonna put Supernatural on the track? And how come he's never in the conversation of greatest of all time? Because I ain't never heard of nobody ever taking out Supernatural.
Respectfully, I don't know him. I never had a bond with him. You understand? But I think that if he made himself a little more visible and pushing and so on and so forth, that maybe that'll come up in the conversation. Because even when you say you never heard anybody say that, I'm on the East Coast. Are people saying that on the West Coast?
Yeah. I know about. I'm a hip hop head, man. I know about Supernatural.
No, but I'm saying, are they saying he's the greatest of all time on the West?
No. I'm just saying, period. He's one of them.
Everything starts at home, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe he just need to put his resume out there a little more, man, and push, bro. You know? I ain't slighting him, but I've never been really up on him like that.
Hey, XL, I beg to differ, though. I beg to differ. I've been in 1,000 conversations about the best off the top of the head freestylers ever, and Supernatural has been a part, the top 3 in every conversation that I've had.
Yeah, I mean, that's only for real hip hop heads. Yeah. That's only for real hip hop heads. That's why I want to put his name out there, man, because, I mean, he's not the greatest to me. I'm going Rakim KRS-One, but he definitely deserves some accolades. And I was just wondering if man, the last joint you put out, K-Slay, was it slayed everything else.
Wait till you
I'm
hear
just
the
wondering
new
if you're
one.
gonna put.
XL, wait.
Yeah,
till
I'm
you
gonna
hear
hear
the
the one.
Okay. Hey man, you a citizen, XL. Thank you for
Sway
your call.
morning.
Get the new EP, Accolades, Citizens, is out Friday. K-Slay, hey man, I miss you, brother. Miss you,
Yes.
Yeah, man.
When we open
up.
You already know when we open up again, man. Just come on, man. We gonna do things different this time. We just partying. We gonna party on the air, man, every day.
Every day.
All right, K-Slay, thank you for calling in, man. Once again, it's DJ K-Slay. The new EP is Accolades. It's out Friday. The new single is Extravagant. See the video. K-Slay runs a scam in the video. If you never saw him scamming before, you'll see how it goes down.
Yeah, you stupid. You stupid.
Yo, thanks a lot, Sway, man. Appreciate y'all.
Oh, it's all love, brother. We'll talk soon, man. That's K-Slay, the legend, man. All right, have a great day. Man, up next, I think this is going to be really interesting. It's an interesting show that's coming on BET called BET Presents the Encore. Really interesting show. It's about a group of members from groups formerly of 3LW, 702, Black, Danny D. Kane, Toto, Solo, and all of these women are coming together to kind of give it one more shot, if I'm not mistaken, and see what they could do. They're gonna put them all in a house together. I don't know if they knew each other or not, but 2 of the members from the group Cherish, which is now used to be a 4-member group. Remember that, HB? All the sisters?
Of course.
Yeah, and now they're a 2-member group. So we got Felicia and Fallon King who are going to join us. And look, let's talk about some R&B. Where the R&B groups at? Where the lady groups at? Well, they all hanging out in this one location on BET Presents Encore. We're going to talk about it next. ATL Stand Up, his Cherish. Let's play one of them hits, man. You want to talk with them? 888-742-3345.